Hey everyone, Swamper here. This is a supplementary to the recent videos on meaningful character death. I would guess that in most RPGs, almost every time a character dies, it's due to combat death. Combat is common, and those deaths are bound to happen. But you can threaten your party in other ways. We'll start with character death. Presumably everybody wants their character to survive, so this is the easiest way to threaten them. Combat death is only one way, though. Also, dying in combat is something that a PC could actually want to do. It might be a willing act for them. You think of a hero throwing himself on a grenade or taking himself and a villain off a cliff at the same time. So there can actually be worse things than character death. So let's look at death by execution. Imagine a scenario where the PCs are to be executed for a crime that they may or may not have committed. Having PCs falsely accused is something of a cliche, but it can offer exciting possibilities ranging from a courtroom scene where they have to role-play their defense to having to find and rescue a key witness who could help clear their name. You could have death by trap. This is certainly a possibility when, out adventuring, and very dangerous to do. Some of the videos about meaningful death touched on death by trap. My 2 cents is that as long as the party has a chance to notice or avoid the trap, then trap death is fair. A bit of advice is not to make traps too common or the party progress slows to a plod and they're just using 10-foot poles every step. There's also death by disease or curse. Maybe a player gets inflicted. You can have the symptoms be minor at first and then slowly get worse. It's important that the character learns that if it's not cured, the disease is fatal. He should learn that fairly soon after contracting it. This adds a sense of tension as the party races against the clock to cure their friend. And as the DM, do not wuss out and let them survive the disease considerably longer than you've stated it would take. I like to frequently remind them their time is running out, you estimate you have 2 weeks to live, that sort of thing. It keeps it forefront in their head and keeps that tension high. Now, besides losing your character, you can threaten your players in other ways. There's a quote from the movie Cape Fear where the character Max Cady says, "Learn about loss." What you as the GM have to do is to learn what your characters care about. One of the best ways to do this is to either talk to them or familiarize yourself with their backgrounds. Learn what is of interest, what is of desire to those characters. Instead of a character death, you could have the death of a family member, a loved one that's close to the PC. Maybe it could be an NPC that the characters have become close to, or a key NPC who has some information or access to something that the party really needs. The goal here is to try and make the PC's grief at the loss, whatever they lose. It could even be something physical. Imagine a party's base being destroyed by a demon or evil wizard bent on revenge or an earthquake. A party returning to their castle to find it leveled and all the hirelings dead is certainly going to feel angered and upset and feel that sense of loss. So don't rely too heavily on combat death as the only way to threaten your players. There are other ways you can do it that can provide even more role-playing opportunities. That's it. I hope this video was helpful, and good gaming, everyone.